Usually I go into a lot more detail, but I'm going to be trying to run through this a lot more quicker, less descriptive than I might, and less repeating. So hi, I'm Casserole J, and I wanted to talk about the Allkill PTB that we had today. I actually managed to hop on and play actually quite a few games on both Survivor and Killer, which is crazy, because usually Killer takes about 42 minutes for me to queue into the average game, but this time it actually only took me 5 to 10 minutes for both of my games, which is just... Oh, there's a moth on my keyboard right now, which is just so crazy because, is he gonna fly into my mouth? He's trying. It would take so long before, I don't know what they did to fix it, and I was not queuing against bots. It was definitely real people. But yeah, and on Survivor, it was pretty fast. On Killer, it was pretty fast. All around, it was just pretty fast. I was really impressed by that. I don't know what they did. Maybe there was just a lot of people on the PTB. Anywho, let's get into the PTB, and I actually have a lot of good things to say. I'm just going to give it an overall number score right now of, honestly, 8 out of 10. Like, I think this is one of the, best PTBs we had in a while. I do have some negatives, but I'm going to save the negatives for the, later half of the video. We're going to get into the pros, because there's actually quite a few pros. The map. We can't talk, no one can talk about this PTB without talking about the map. The map is... It's gorgeous. It's what we've wanted for like 4 or 5 years now. We've wanted like a good urban map, and we've had kind of urban maps, but nothing that really felt natural or right. I think they all were very awkward. This was just 10 out of 10 map. I mean, or no, honestly, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I do want to talk about the map itself. Looks wise, it's crazy. There's just on the amount of props, the urban town, how loops are like actually buildings and shelves, and it's not like other maps where there's just a random rock in the middle of a field or something like that. Like here, it's actually stuff you would find in the urban city, and the fact that it mixes with the outside well, and there's like multiple sections. It's a really big map. It's a little confusing, honestly, and I think on Killers with less mobility, it's actually kind of hard to operate. I tried a few Killers this update. I tried the first, I tried Trickster, I tried Kaneki, and I tried Trapper. Trapper was really hard on that map. You could just see his traps everywhere. Kaneki didn't suffer. I would say Trickster suffered a little. One thing I will have to say about the map is it is very long, and what I mean is, like, yeah, it's a big map, but a lot of the building loops and window loops, because it's a mix of outside and inside, and I think it's a healthy mix, because we have a lot of really bad pallets where it's not even like a 50-50, it's just a straight up pre-drop and run. Like, so many of the pallets are just really small and bad, but then to counter that, we have a few, like, god pallets, a pretty strong shack for both sides, I think, and a lot of the windows are long. And what I mean when I say the windows are like long is that the walls are very long on one side, which means if the killer is following you, you can usually slow vault it like 3 times solidly without getting hit if you're running against a slower killer. And I think that's fair with the amount of like bad pallets that we have on that map. I think that's honestly a fine mix. I do think the map is a little confusing with its hallways, and it's very bright and saturated with, like, you can probably see on the screen because I'll have some background footage. With my shaders, it was honestly kind of hard to look at because it was so saturated. But I love all the details. I love how there's an interactive karaoke bar. Even just like the posters of the Trickster everywhere is just chef's kiss. And the fact that the escape gates are subway tunnels for no reason at all. The art team just decided to aura farm all over its players. They just decided to make it a subway tunnel. Dude, I mean, it's like, in my opinion, it's one of the best maps in DBD right now. Easily, it's gotten to the top 3 favorites, you know? That map is just, oh, it's good. Because it's a great mix of outs. Like, you spend more time inside, but there's also, like, outside time. And it is very big. It is a little... I think you can get a little lost, and that's gonna come with people probably aren't, a lot of, I would say, casual players aren't gonna like it at first, but I think the more people learn the map, the more they're gonna like it. But yeah, I just think the map is just a solid 9 out of 10 all around. So I've been yapping about the map for too long. Let's talk about Fog Vials. Yeah, Fog Vials got a small buff, and honestly, I'm not mad because Fog Vials were one of the most just useless item in the game. I mean, I'd run it over a map or a key, but I'd rather run a toolbox, flashlight, or med kit over any of those 3. So I honestly think the Fog Vial could be buffed again. I think a lot of good players don't use the fog vial because they've already forgotten that stealth, like they don't need that stealth gameplay anymore. They can just chase like most of the time. Before, people just pop it mid chase and you could still get hit. Now if you pop it when the killer is coming towards you, it now creates like a smoke bomb where if the killer's inside the radius, they can usually still see you pretty well. But if you pop it preemptively, the killer can like basically not see you until they enter it. So it's really good for like mind games of like, will I hold 50-50? What I like to do is I like to pop it near like Shack or something, and then I run the opposite way, and it almost always messes. Like this update on the map, the fog vial worked super well against Trickster, and I got so many plays where I kind of just got to make extra distance, which, yeah, the fog vial's better than it was, and it did get some charge updates, and the add-ons got a little reworking, but I think it could honestly be slightly buffed again, to be honest. I don't know what I would do to buff it, but I think I would just make it maybe like a little more, I don't know, maybe a little more dense inside. But yeah, I'm not gonna really be getting into the statistics of stuff too much because there's 100 reviews. I'm just talking about like my opinion. So yeah, the fog vial rework was cool. Pop Goes the Weasel got nerfed. A few perks on both sides. I can't recall them off the top of my head right now, unfortunately, but a few like popular perks did get nerfed. Let's talk about the new survivor. I believe Kwon Tae-young, if I'm not mistaken, is how you pronounce it. Kwon Tae-young, something like that. He is the first original male survivor we've gotten in 4 years, which kind of crazy if you step back and think about it. Yeah, there's definitely a little bias going on there. I think because female characters, women often sell way better in video games. Partially genuinely because of hitbox, but partially because of gooners, partially because women often get better cosmetics than men. Don't get me wrong, we have some cool guys, but we just don't have a lot of guys aside from licensed characters. So Kwon is just awesome. Since it was the PTB, I got some of his cosmetics, and that dude has some insane cosmetics. Just everything looks good on him, honestly. I think the only thing I really did not like about Kwon was his voice lines felt very lackluster, where his hook scream sounded pretty bad audio quality wise, and also they did not sound very, there was not a whole lot of emotion. Like, listen to pre-rework Jonathan screaming, it's like, wow, this dude's like screaming his lungs out. And Kwon, it's kind of like, I know that he was going for like a gentler, like more shocked, like whimper, but it just sounds kind of awkward and honestly just really out of place in my opinion. I really don't like his screams in general. I think his voice lines are good. Like his he only has lobby and load-in voice lines right now. For some reason, they haven't given him any interaction voice lines, which I really hope they drop those when they drop the full update, just because, you know, what I mean by that is when he unhooks a survivor, heals a survivor, powers a gate, does a generator, you know, maybe even a boon, something like that. I feel like that adds so much more complexity and interactivity, where I unhook another survivor and my character is talking to them, telling them it's going to be okay. It's just a cool, like, you're more immersed, I think. So I really hope they give him some of those. Only some of the licensed characters have that. They kind of just pick and choose which characters have those voice lines. So I really hope they work on his voice lines a lot, because I think he needs them. But yeah, otherwise I'm pretty happy with the character. I'm happy with his size. I'm happy with his cosmetics. And his lobby music, oh my god. His lobby music is one of my favorite survivor themes in the game right now. It's just so good. It's such a vibe. All of the music in this chapter was just crazy. I mean, obviously it was a K-pop chapter, so they had to go all out, but it was just insane. Trickster. I've never been a huge fan of playing Trickster. I've always felt like I could never keep up. I always felt like no matter what perks I ran, I was just too slow. Even though he was above 110, I just hated the way that he played, where you just spam knives. I never really liked any of his add-ons. New Trickster, I'm actually a really big fan of. As you can see, I'm probably playing some Trickster footage in the background at first. My games were pretty easy. Just like, I didn't bring any gen regression, barely kicked gens, barely tunneled or slugged at all, and I mean, it was kind of like a mopping all around. And this is the PTB, so you're getting mixed MMRs everywhere. You know, people are goofing around, they're not serious. But in other games, I went against better survivors and still managed to beat them when I'm not very experienced with the Trickster. Trickster got some basic things where now he only has to hit you with 6 knives. He got a UI rework. He got chase music reworks where his different add-ons now change his chase music, which sounds crazy. He now has a rank system where if you do actions like breaking a gen, breaking a pallet, M1ing a survivor, downing a survivor with knives, frenzying, you get ranks from D to S, which S allows you to have main event, and I believe it allows you to throw knives super fast and you like gain haste, and every level just kind of gives you some like small buff to your knives or movement. His add-ons are just, not only does he feel much better to play, like his gameplay flow is so much smoother. I feel like I can keep up way better. This is after they nerfed him to 110 now. He moves at 110. I still feel like I can keep up so much faster. And the add-on rework was, I mean, it was Pyramid Head levels of good. Like, we need more killers to get add-on reworks because Trickster's rework is insane. Like, every single one of his add-ons have a use. My favorite is the purple disc and the green add-on, where every time you get an 8th hit with your knife, you get a random chance to get some effect. And it actually stacks with every single level that you get as your grade progresses. Honestly, I think the grade was a weird choice where a lot of people were really upset that Trickster didn't get a full power rework. I think this fits him pretty well, but at the end of the day, I am a little confused that they decided to go with like a Tekken combo system for DBD, because at the end of the day, the best way to play killer is time management, and that's the most important thing. So I inadvertently got S tier quite a few times just being in a regular chase though, so they actually did work this pretty well. I think he's not extremely strong. I would probably put him B+, like probably higher B. Against good survivors, he's still going to get destroyed, and on some maps, I think he will probably still struggle. But I wouldn't really buff him or nerf him anymore. I think he's actually in a really good position right now, and I just wouldn't change where he is. Obviously, the add-on music changes were splendid. The add-on changes were splendid. He got more voice lines. They got the original voice actor, and he sounds even more deranged and just so like gloaty and just self-absorbed. It's amazing. I mean, it's just like it's so Trickster. He also doesn't have that many interactive voice lines, only when hooking, pulling survivors out of a locker, or moriing, or loading into a match or lobby, which is kind of standard for killers, but I kind of wish they had more voice lines. Just starting chase, you know, kicking a generator. I just kind of wish they had more general voice lines, and I'm kind of sad he didn't really get that, but he still got quite a few more. This chapter was really good. Honestly, there weren't... let's talk about the perks. I can't remember all the perks off of the top of my head for Quan. Trickster's perks did get some buffs. Crowd control got some pretty insane buffs, where now if you just fast vault a window, it blocks 6 windows. Trickster vaults the windows faster, and the totem doesn't light until someone has vaulted, so you can get actual value out of it before it's immediately destroyed 2 minutes later. So you can actually get some good value out of that. I know Yunjin's perks got changed. I didn't play her, but I know they kind of generally got buffed and changed a bit. Basically, for Quan's perks, let's actually, yeah, flow state, a place for us. Let's have a really quick look. I just want to make sure I can get this all right, and I'm not going to go crazy with it. He does have 3 perks: flow state, a place for us, and 5 moves ahead. And if I remember this correctly, I might not remember correctly. I know a place for us is whenever he heals another survivor, they get elusive. So it's basically just better bite the bullet. That's actually, in my opinion, it's a pretty decent. I give it like lower B tier, just a decent perk all around. Flow state, I believe, yes, flow state is the one where every time a generator is completed, he gains a stack, and for every stack, he gets a 10% bonus to unhooking, healing, cleansing a totem, opening a chest, which, you know, at the end equals to 50%. So you can get some really fast unhooks. Flow state, I wouldn't say it's game breaking, but I do think being able to cleanse a totem at 50% your speed is kind of crazy, but we already have other perks. This is just kind of a nice mix of everything. I think pairing that with Desperate Measures is just a really good combo. And 5's moves ahead, this is the real meta one. I'd put this high A tier. It's the first ever perk ever that has power crept windows of opportunity ever. This allows him to drop pallets 50% faster, and while you're in chase, you just get to see the aura of the 5 closest windows and pallets. So it's literally just windows with less range, but you also drop pallets faster. This does have a 30-second cooldown, but I think this really helps people who have high ping or who often get hit through pallets. Now the animation is just faster, so they physically cannot hit them through the palette, and it feels great for a pre-drop for a weak palette, or you know, if you want to greed. It's just it's not super meta, but I'd give it A-. Like, I think it's actually surprisingly underrated, and I saw a lot of people saying it was weak, and I think it's just good. Like, it's not even like a bad perk. I think it's just good for everyone. And you know, it's nice to have a Windows aura reading perk that is not Windows anymore, if you know what I mean. Dude actually brought some really interesting perks, and I feel like all the perks are very fairly balanced. None of them are meta breaking like Tori's introduction, but none of them are like extremely strong. I think honestly a Place for Us and Flow State could get tiny little buffs, but if I mean like tiny, like a few number changes, maybe an extra effect. Nothing crazy though. I do think they could get some sort of buff. Okay, so we've talked about the fog vials, we've talked about the killer, the music. What else? There was more. John Ghoul, my favorite character, did get a slight buff with the aiming reticle, but he also got a nerf where if he vaults a pallet, now it's much more easier for you to just walk around him and pre-vault behind him. So now his grab isn't really that strong, unfortunately. But you know, I think the grab was a little strong as it was, and that needed to be nerfed kind of heavily. So, but yeah, the music this chapter is great. Okay, last thing, I do want to go after the cons, because we do actually have a few cons. I've actually managed to make this video pretty fast. If you're enjoying so far and you want to see me do more DBD stuff, then you should like and subscribe. First con, loading with Trickster. There are some visual glitches where his head and back kind of twists out a little bit, and it's not a big deal, but it does look weird, and it just kind of it's weird. Made me feel a little motion sickness, I guess. I don't know why that's a thing. His lacerations now, when he hits you with the knives, there is a new effect that looks really cool. It's sort of just like blue and red and pink lines, but I don't know if this is purposeful. It kind of fades into like a long black line before it fades behind you, and right now it looks really weird. Hopefully they increase the decay so the line hits you and then it just kind of fades in the spot. Like if you turn while he's hitting you with his power, it's like these weird black like long lines. I don't know. Maybe that's purposeful, but to me it's just kind of visually a little distracting. I'm not a huge fan of that. Another thing, yeah, so the voice lines were a little lackluster. I'm a little upset they didn't do more this chapter, because they did fix a lot of audio bugs and known bugs, but other perks wise, we didn't really get a whole lot of meta changes. We got some like Spirit Fury got nerfed and then buffed, and now it's exactly the same as it was. I don't know what's up with that, but we really didn't get any meta change shakeups on the survivor or the killer side. None of the bad perks really got buffed, which I'm a little upset over. I was kind of hoping they could do a little. I'm happy with the map and the survivor. Like, I'm happy with the content we were given, and that's why I rated it so high. But I do wish we got a little more on the side, and hopefully we can do that, because right now the game honestly feels kind of stale. I'm super excited for the PTB to come to live. And now the big thing, P100 rewards. And what could it be? Well, unfortunately, Scott Jund predicted it, and it was a badge. Okay, now hear me out. So now you get a badge at prestige 25, 50, 75, and 100, with each level getting more. And I'll show it on screen. It does look really cool, I'll admit. Like, the animated frame is really cool, and now you can have pictures of your favorite survivor or killer, and I think that's great. Like, I like the idea, and the banners do look quite cool, but they did reuse some concept and assets for certain licenses, which really takes it away from me, and they didn't even bother putting any sort of filter on it to make them look like the others, so that's really awkward. I kind of wish P100 would unlock a second, like, so you could display 2 badges at least on your profile, so you could have your P100 survivor and P100 killer, because right now it's only one, and I feel like you should just be able to unlock extra badges. I honestly think you should be able to, I think you should get a lot more rewards, because P100 is 500 plus hours. That's a lot of time spent in a game. For DBD, it's not that much time, but in every other game, that's an absurd amount of time. And the fact that they did genuinely just make it a cool, flashy badge, I'm actually really, really disappointed in them for that. Like, very, very disappointed. I was hoping for a lot more there, and I feel let down. I was kind of thinking maybe we could get some sort of XP and blood point multiplier on the P100 character, just a permanent increase, and it doesn't have to be a crazy amount, but like 100% would be really cool, I think. Just stuff like that to help with the next P100 grind. Also, like, some cosmetics, you know, some P100 cosmetics would be great, or maybe it's the same ruby color and texture of the P100 logo, and it's like an infestation, kind of like a blight mix, but with like rubies and gems, and it like grows over the character. You know, I've thought of stuff like that, and they could have it like shine and chase and have some cool visual effects. But no, they just went with the banner. If this goes to live and they haven't added any other rewards for hitting P100, I'm gonna be really disappointed in their decision making here, because I think to show players that you really care that they spent that much time, you need to give them more than that. Because that's, I'm sorry, I know it sounds like you know, like, oh, give me more, greedy Gus, but that's just not, that's just simply not enough in any form. It's limited, and the badge, once again, yeah, you get to see your badge, but your badge is only shown at the end of the match. It was kind of the same thing with the first P100, where it's like, yeah, it's a bragging right. It's like, well, you only see it at the end of the match, so who cares? So I really hope they add some more stuff, hopefully some BP rewards, hopefully some sort of like special cosmetics, or I honestly think just unlocking, like being able to put on 2 banners and 2 badges would be great, because we need more. So yeah, that was a disappointment. That was actually a pretty big disappointment. I was really excited when I heard of Prestige Rewards, and I was sorely disappointed. And you can't even get legendary P100 portraits either. Like, I couldn't get my P100 Alucard or something. So, or Geralt or something like that. So they better add those as well. I know with licensing, in some cases they can't, and that's why they're trying to reuse art. But I understand what they're doing, but I think it looks really cheap. And it's just the worst P100 reward you could. This was kind of the thing we all knew was going to happen, but we were hoping wouldn't. So, Behavior, if you're watching this, please just add something different. That's just, or keep it and add some more stuff, like something really game-changing or impactful. Like, I really think like a Ruby Glaze cosmetic would look great on every character. And I think with the art team being as good as they are, they could definitely go above and beyond with both killers and survivors. Overall, I'm actually really pretty happy with this PTB. I'm super excited. I do hope we get a few buffs to Quan's perks. I hope that he works on his voice lines. I hope he gets some interactive voice lines. I hope we get some better P100 rewards. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Honestly, let's see, I'm mostly fulfilled, and that's the sign that it was like a pretty good chapter. Like, if I'm mostly fulfilled, then it can't be that bad. And yeah, so there we go. That's basically all I had to say. I'm not going to keep going. If you enjoyed this video, then like I said before, you should like and subscribe, because I do mostly horror gaming, but I would like DBD to become a secondary kind of content we continuously do on the channel. So you should definitely subscribe for that. And if you want, you can just watch some more gameplay, because I recorded 40 minutes of gameplay. So if you want to watch more, there you go. Casserole J is out.